Hey guys, so probably you can see what I'm gonna talk about from the title of this video. This video is gonna be just more of like a sit down talk. This isn't gonna be like a vlog or anything or like me doing anything crazy. It's just like I'm just gonna sit down and talk. Yeah, I wanted to kind of tell this story, kind of not really. I wasn't sure about it. I was just like, should I make a video about it or should I not? And then I decided I think I should speak about it because I know a lot of people like go through similar situations and like stuff like this happens all the time, and like everyone's situation is different. Some are worse than others. Yeah, so you probably like can see from the title of this video. So yeah. So I was sexually assaulted when I was 9 years old. I think I'm gonna just tell the story about it first and then like get into talking about it like after. So I guess I'll just tell you the story. So when I was 9 years old, my mom got this boyfriend and like it was always just me and her, and it's always been just me and my mom. So I was just kind of used to that, and then all of a sudden I kind of forget how, but just this guy started coming around the house a lot, and my mom's like, oh, they're friends. Like, I didn't know anything. So, yeah, I just was like, oh, okay, they're friends. And he was with us for a long time. Like, he stayed around the house. Like, he lived with us kind of. Like, he had his own place. I think he lived with his mom, but, yeah, I don't really know too much, but he would always be around the house, and like we were all like pretty close, like because we would do things together, like fun things, or like go out. Like he was pretty close to us, and like I almost thought of him kind of like a dad figure. And I've never met my dad. Like apparently I did meet my dad when I was 1 year old once, but like I don't really count that. Like I don't know him. I never really knew him, but he lives in London, England, so like he's far. And yeah, so like I never had really a dad figure or like a guy figure other than my grandpa. Like he was the closest to me, that was a guy. And then now my mom's boyfriend was close, and I kind of looked at like him as a dad figure kind of. So yeah, so I guess I'll just like tell you how it happened. I was 9 years old, so I would sleep with my mom occasionally, and like, yeah, I just usually like sleep with her. And one time she was like out late or something like that, like, and he didn't always stay with us, but sometimes he did. Like he had his own room, and it was like farther over there, like more by the kitchen, like a totally different room. And I fell asleep in my mom's bed one night, and she wasn't like home at the time. And then while I was sleeping, I guess she got home, but she like didn't come sleep with me. She went downstairs and slept on the couch. So I was sleeping in her room, and then her boyfriend at the time like came in to the room that I was sleeping in, which was like her bedroom. And I guess like sometimes they sleep together because like they're dating, and but he also like had his own room. And he crawled into bed with me, and like I woke up and I was like right away I was like, oh, where's mom? And then he was like, oh, she's downstairs, don't bother her, she's sleeping. I was like, okay. And like nothing was like too weird at the time. Like I was just like okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. So I like just went back to bed, and like at 9 years old I knew like it was just weird for like, why is he sleeping with me? Why is he in the same bed as me? Like my mom's not here. Like it's kind of weird. But I wasn't like too like, I wasn't scared or like thought anything of it. I was just like, okay. And I try and go back to sleep, and then like probably like 4 or 5 minutes in, he starts rubbing my leg. And like as a 9-year-old I was just like I was uncomfortable, And I was just like, in my head, what are you doing? Like, don't touch me type thing. Like, it wasn't like, it was like pretty weird for me. Yeah, it was pretty weird for me. I was just like, why? Like, why are you touching me? So I didn't say anything, and I was just like, okay, maybe like he'll stop and like we'll just go to bed. And like he kept doing it, and then it just felt like he was like going too close. Like, I was 9 years old, like I wasn't comfortable being touched like that. And like my mom made it like really clear when I was younger that like no one's allowed to touch you. Like, your body is your body. Like, don't, like, no one's allowed to touch you. Like, not even mom's allowed to touch you. Like, she's just like really good at like explaining that, you know. So I was just like, I'm feeling like uncomfortable. So I was just like really uncomfortable, and I was like, I just told him I need to go to the bathroom, and he was like, oh, okay. And I got out of bed and just like I went to the bathroom, and I was just like thinking like, hey, like, what do I do? I was like, I just need to go see my mom. Like, I need to go downstairs. Like, so I run downstairs, and my mom's like sleeping on the couch, and I was like, oh yeah. And like before that, like before I went downstairs, he's like, hey, but don't bother your mom. So I was like, fuck, like kind of scared, but like I wasn't like terrified. So then I ran downstairs, and my mom's sleeping on the couch there, and I wake her up. I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna say his name, but I said, oh, he's upstairs, and he's like, I didn't say boyfriend, but I'm not gonna say his name. So I was like, yeah, he's upstairs, and he crawled into bed with me, and he started touching my leg, but like, don't say anything, like, don't get mad, like, don't do anything, because I was scared. And like, he told me not to bother her, and like I went to wake her up. So I was like, please don't say anything. She's like, what? And she like runs upstairs and like goes into the bed, and like he's laying there, and I was like really scared. So it was around Christmas time, so I went under and like hid under the Christmas tree because I was scared. Like, I didn't want it to be awkward between us. Like, he lives like kind of like, I see him all the time, like, you know, like we had fun together. Like, you know, he was like kind of like a dad-ish figure to me. Like, I didn't want him to be mad at me. I was like kind of like crying like under the tree, like, and then like she kicked him out pretty much, and then was like, hey, like, where did he touch you and everything. And like I just told her like exactly what happened, and then she ended up filing like a police report, and I didn't know like how serious it like was. And like it's still like, it was so confusing to me as a child, because like I was really quick with it. Like, I didn't know like how worse it could have gotten. Like, I didn't understand. I just like knew I was uncomfortable, so like I left the situation. So like she filed a police report, went to the police about it, and it like, I ended up having to go to court and like testify in court. Like, I had to, and it took like 2 years to go to court, like for to go to trial. So like 2 years later, it's like not really fresh in my memory. And then they're like, where did he touch you, and like how am I supposed to really remember? Like, I don't want to like relive it the rest of my life and like think about it just to remember. Like, for 2 years, like I'm trying to forget. Like, it's not like a part of my life anymore. And like I remember having to go to counseling. Like, they made me go to counseling, just like, and they'd ask me like how I'm feeling, and like I didn't really like, it wasn't really a big deal to me because nothing really happened. Like, nothing really happened because I like left the situation as soon as he started like touching my leg. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know how far it would have escalated. I don't really know his intentions with me, or like what they were, or like whatever. And like, so apparently he was drunk, and like I don't know really why he didn't go sleep on his bed. Like, maybe it was, I think it was like messy or something. So like he crawled into bed with me, and he was like drunk. He said like he was drunk or something, and he didn't like realize he was like getting too close or whatever. But like, I just don't understand, like, why would you like hop into a 9-year-old's bed anyway? Like, period. Like, that's not your child. Like, the moms downstairs. Like, you know, if anything, you could wake my mom up and be like, hey, you go sleep with Jada and I'll sleep on the couch or something. Like, I don't really get it. And I just don't understand, like, why you would feel like it's okay, like, to start rubbing my leg in bed. Like, I'm 9 years old. But anyway, so, yeah, like, it took, like, 2 years for the stupid case. And, you know, I didn't really tell anyone, like, I didn't, like, tell my friends or anything, or I didn't tell, like, anyone because, you know, it wasn't on my mind. Like, I don't tell anyone now. Like, no one really knows that that happened to me. Because it doesn't, like, come up, and, like, I just feel like, like, I don't randomly say, like, hey, I was, like, sexually assaulted, kind of, like, you know, like, I'm still confused about it to this day, because I was, like, I'm just, like, well, he didn't, like, get to do anything, but, like, he could have, and, like, it just was weird, like, why would you get into bed with me, you know? So it's, like, still really confusing to me. And he didn't, like, end up going to jail, and, like, I'm glad he didn't go to jail, because, like, nothing, like, really happened, but, like, it could have. I'm just glad that, like, he's aware, like, he was, like, aware now, like, hey, you don't get into bed with, like, kids, like, that's weird. And I'm glad, like, now that it's, like, on record, so if, like, he did try to do it with anyone, like, or he tried to get into bed with anyone else, like, it's on record, like, that he's done it before, because some girls, or, like, some people just aren't, like, probably wouldn't have done what I would have, like, maybe they'd be too scared to go, like, he said don't go, so I'm, you know, like, I just left, like, so I'm glad that I did that. And yeah, I don't usually talk about it, like, it's not, like, I don't really, like, it doesn't define me, it's, like, not who I am, like, I don't, like, think I'm, like, a changed person because of it. I mean, like, yeah, it like, affected me. I just think it's, like, it's bullshit how long it takes, because no one wants that in their life. Like, they don't want to, like, remember for 2 years, like 2 years, it took 2 years, like, I didn't want it to be in my life, I just wanted to be done with it, like, it happened, it's over, like, but the fact that, like, it just took 2 years for us to go to court about it, that it was, like, too much, and, like, I was 9, like, I just didn't want to deal with that, and I didn't want to have it being a part of my life, and I, like, never talked about it, like, and I never tell people about it. Not that I'm, like, ashamed or embarrassed or anything like that, just, like, yeah, and I also had a steak, like, a week ago. Am I gonna be, like, telling people, like, I ate steak or something? Like, no, like, it just happened. So, yeah. It's, like, never came up in conversation, like, so, yeah. So that's basically the story of how I was sexually assaulted, and, like, I had to go to court for that and counseling. And yeah, I just don't really, like, trust guys, like, ever. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't really, like, trust anyone 100%, because even, like, the closest people, like, you know, like, you never really know, like, their intentions and stuff. So, yeah. I feel like if something does happen, like, everyone should be, like, 100%, like, feel free to talk about it. Like, things happen all the time, like, they can happen to anyone, so, you know, you just have to be, like, aware and, like, know. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm sorry this wasn't, like, a vlog or, like, a fun video or, like, a fun story time, but I just want to talk about it, you know? Just because everyone is a certain way for a reason, and, like, every experience I've went through, like, turned me, like, into who I am today, and I feel like some people just don't understand why a person's like that, or, like, why a person is like this, or, like, they're a certain way. Yeah, like, there's a bunch of different experiences that made me who I am, and, like, everyone's gone through different experiences and thinks different because of things they've went through, so, yeah. And that's it, so I guess it's bye, and I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want.